Team Fortress 2 has this weird genre of maps that are created by people which I can only describe using the words like abstract or weird. These maps are like their own art pieces. It's as if these creators just poured out all their thoughts and ideas into one map. In my first video on this channel, I covered a map named Buzzy's Dreambox. This map is similar to the one I'm going to cover in this video today, as they're both in the same type of genre and are even inspired by the same maps and creators. Anyways, the map I'm going to be covering is called Trade Omni Chamber. This map was made by someone named Kaizo Mario 1234. This was their first and seemingly only map for Team Fortress 2, and despite it being their first map, I believe it to be amazing. Anyways, that's enough just talking about the map. Now I'll actually go into the map and tour around the place and reveal all that it has to show. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe or whatever, and once again, thank you for watching. Upon first spawning to the map, we seem to end up in some type of PvP area, like how most trade maps would have two team spawns across from each other, with a PvP spot in the middle of the two spawns. Upon walking around the map, there is seemingly nothing that's off about it. No secret entrances or anything like that. However, there is one thing you can do to explore the rest of the map. If you're perhaps a little low on ammo, there's a small ammo pack you can pick up on the red side of the map. Picking it up does this. The pillar in the middle of the map opens up. Upon jumping down, we are greeted by this. Upon entering this quad area, there are several places we can go. First spot we'll be going is the blue side. I call this because it's blue. Upon entering the blue side, we find a room which doesn't seem too interesting. It seems to be some type of arcade, with several game cabinets, game posters, and even a claw machine that talks to you.
Christian won the jackpot on August 4th at Superplay.
Once again, nothing crazy, as this room is a bit empty. I in fact did notice that behind this wall right here is a game cabinet for the game Polybius. Polybius is an urban legend of an old 1981 arcade game of the same name. The legend goes that the game would show up in places around Portland, Oregon, and eventually after some time, these game cabinets would be visited by men in black who would collect unknown data from the game. People who played this game would also supposedly suffer side effects such as seizures, amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, or hallucinations. Now, of course, this is all fictitious, but it's still a popular urban legend nonetheless, and I found it quite interesting. Finally exiting this room, we will now enter the room on the red side of the quad. This red side has a parkour section in which touching the floor or walls teleports you back to the beginning. This parkour section is a complete pain in the ass.
God damn it. Parachute. Boom. My fucking god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm killing myself.
Especially these stupid pillars in which you need to jump on the platforms around the edge, and if you touch the center, you get teleported back to the beginning. This parkour section resembles that of a Roblox obby, which are obstacle courses in which you need to get past the obstacles to get to the end. Even the end of this parkour section resembles what the end of most Roblox obbies look like, with these different machines and buttons, this little winner button, and especially this VIP room. Speaking of this VIP room, you can walk into it and are greeted by this big eye. Touching the big eye teleports you to the top of the map. You can actually find these weird eyes all over the map. Most of the time you touch them, it teleports you back to the quad area, but sometimes they do something else, which I'll be talking about later. Behind this green wall is a hidden eye which brings us back to the quad. Heading back towards the blue wall, we'll actually be going to this little down area instead of going upstairs like every other area. We eventually enter this odd room with what seems to be robots patterning the walls. To the far left side of this room, there's a little robot thing that we can walk through, which brings us to this abstract looking forest room. Walking further down this area, we enter this room with paintings on the walls. This seems to be some type of pattern in this genre of maps, as there are several maps with the same type of painting room. Going back to the robot room we were at before, there is a door that is flashing several different colors. Walking through it brings us to a room with this girl. This room is a reference to a game called Yume Nikki. The girl in this room with us is named Poniko, with this room being her room, of course. Upon going up next to this door and touching the light switch, the room turns red and Poniko turns into this creature, which is named Yuboa. This is an actual event that can happen in Yume Nikki itself, where upon entering Poniko's room and turning off the lights, there is a 1 in 64 chance of Yuboa appearing. Anyways, after Yuboa appears, we're able to touch it, in which we are sent to this room fully submerged in water, with these two signs in it. There is no way to leave this room, and all we can do is wait until we drown to death. Coming back to the quad area, there is this blue and white pillar with platforms on the side. not too dissimilar to the pillars we found in the parkour area earlier. Climbing up this pillar reveals that there is a hole in the middle of it that we can jump down, which brings us here. This is what I refer to as the pool room. It's pretty simple of a room, with it just having a big pool in the middle and a bar off the side labeled as Trade Omni-Chamber Bar. In the back of the room is once again another eye, which brings us back to the quad. Heading now to the yellow side, we enter a room with a bunch of computers. Nothing too interesting here, but I did find this computer with a screenshot of TF2 from the creator of this map. Anyways, going down to the next room in this area brings us to this brick room with some images on the wall. Once again, nothing too interesting other than this hallway to the right of the room, which shows this blue room with a TV. There is a way to enter this room, but not from where we are at right now. The next room is this weird white room with the pattern on the floor matching the roof. We'll call this room layers, as this will be important later. Lastly, we enter a room with some TV in it alongside a couch and a large pair of glasses. This is another thing that appears a lot in these abstract maps. Now there's one last thing we can do in this area, but I absolutely have to give a warning. This next area has some of the most crazy, insane, fucking eye-melting flashing lights ever. So I warn you right now, if you are even slightly prone to flashing lights, then please skip over this part of the video. I should have left a timestamp on screen to skip to so you can skip over this part of the video. Now continuing on, we walk into the spot and fall down this great fall and we're greeted by this.
Oh my god, dude.
Walking into the next room, it just only gets worse.
Oh my god! Holy fuck! Oh.
In the corner of one of these rooms is an eye. We can walk past this eye to come to another room with flashing white lights. In this room is another eye that thankfully brings us back to the quad area. Going to the green side, we head to the right and go up these stairs, which brings us to this long white hallway. If we keep hugging the left of this wall, we eventually enter this library type room. It's sort of maze-like and just leads to a bunch of dead ends with little photos that play noises. Going back down this white hallway, we see these ASCII art looking things on the wall, like Maratsuki from Yume, Nikki, McDonald's, and Steve Jobs. Reaching the end of this white hall, there is a huge drop down to this blue static room. When first entering this room, there's seemingly only one way we can go, which leads to a dead end. However, after going through this dead end, a little sound plays, which opens up another spot. Going down the second place, we enter a room with lots of different images on the wall, nothing too different from what we've seen before this. However, there's one thing that caught my interest, this quote. A quote that reads, "Time spent online is time wasted offline. Thank you for the world so sweet. In an age of individualism, what makes people feel secure is having themselves reflected back to them, just like a mirror. Look at you." Now this little quote right here caught my attention. From what I could tell from my research, this quote was probably made by the person who made this map. I was going to get in contact with the person who made this map to ask them about this, but unfortunately could not find a way to get into contact with them. Now, one thing about me is that I am stupid. Anytime it comes down to analyzing quotes like this in class, my English teacher would usually have to help me. Thanks, Miss Wilson. Anyways, if I were to guess what this quote is about, I'd have to say that the first part of this quote is talking about how appreciative they are of the world and how they feel as if they are wasting their time spending their time online rather than appreciating the world offline. As for the second part of the quote, I was actually able to kind of find something about this online. Kinda. It was just some obscure-ass tweet from 2016 saying something pretty similar to what the second part of this quote says. With that aside, I had quite a hard time trying to analyze this quote. From what I can figure out from it, it means that nothing brings more comfort to someone other than themselves. Now, I know that sounds incredibly basic, in which it is. That's like the best I can do when analyzing this quote, okay? I'm 2 weeks away from going back to school and I'm already doing English work again. I hate this. The final room I'll show before going to the big fun adventure of this map is this. It's a room with some entries from the creator's dream journal. Some of them are a bit interesting, but my favorite is probably Dream Journal 82, which reads, "Had a dream I was in a library, and I went to the computers and played TF2. You're able to customize the scout a lot." It sounds like a dream that I would have. Anyways, to even get to this room, you have to go to the layers room and jump through the roof several times, going through different layers. That's why I called it layers. Anyways, now that we've explored pretty much every room we can, I'll now explain the secret of this map. I said earlier that this map has these weird eye symbols everywhere. Most of the time that you touch them, it brings you back to the main quad area of this map. However, some of them play some weird noise whenever you touch them. There are several of these put around the map, and you have to press each one in a specific order. And no, I will not be telling you the location of each spot or which order you need to press them in. You'll just have to figure it out yourself because fuck you. The one hint I will give you is that each eye is hidden behind a wall you can walk through, meaning you're just going to have to go up to each and every wall on the map and slowly grind on each one until you eventually find one. Just to realize you aren't going in the right order, and don't even try to search up how to do this on the internet because I will know and I will get you. Anyways, after pressing each eye, you go back down to the blue static room from before and walk through this arc in which you'll end up in the credits room. In this room, it has some writings which reveal several things about this map, like the November/December 2019 writing, which is when this map was released, of course. The fun fact that this is their first map, which I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there's also some writing, which gives a special thanks to several people, including anyone or anything that inspired this map. Lastly is some text reading about how they wanted to release this map in 2020 because of a cool year number, but they just couldn't wait. And if anyone is playing this map in the far future, to DM them how it's going. I couldn't DM them, sadly. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this map. This is easily one of my favorite maps, and I honestly just love any map in this type of abstract genre type thing. There's a public server on TF3 that hosts this map. I'll be linking the IP to the server in the description if you want to play the map. I'll also be dropping in a link to the workshop page to this map if you want to play it privately. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching. I'm sorry about the break last week. I haven't been feeling too good about the videos I've been making lately, and I just felt like they've been kind of lazy. So hopefully once this video is done and being edited, I'm more proud of it this time compared to my other videos. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.